hear you.
The one thing that we can't do virtually is sing all at the same time with all of ourselves. So let's fill up this space together. You know it, you love it. Lai, lai, lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Ya la 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 ya lai 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 lai. Fill it up, fill it up. Lai 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 Fill it up with your voices. Here we go. Lai 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 ya la la lai hai lai lai ya la lai 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 lai
So let's keep warming up our voices. I will say in a moment, last week we celebrated Shabbat Shira, the Shabbat of redemption. And this week we move into the space of revelation. So let us open up our hearts to the revelation of Torah and the revelation of Shabbat. Hopefully you will feel and sense something new in this space as we join together, perhaps the sound of harmony that you haven't heard in a while. So let's keep singing until our Zoom community joins us. They're throwing some heart taps. I'm throwing them back, although I don't think they can hear us. Let's do it together.
Lai lai lai, lai 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 lai, lai lai lai, lai lai Zimratia, God is my strength, and I'm going to sing about it. Ozi vezimratia, vayehi li lishua. Ozi vezimratia. Zimratia, Ozi, Vezimratia, Vayehi, Lishua. Ozi vezimrat ya vayehi Yeshua. Oh, sing it out, fill it up. Ozi vezimrat ya vayehi Yeshua. Just an echo. Lai, lai, lai. Lai, 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 lai. Echo on the mountain. Lai, lai, lai. Lai, lai, lai. Echoing out now. Lai, lai, lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, lai, lai. Lai, lai, lai.
So in just a moment, we are going to welcome our entire community together. So maybe we can warm up this space even more with a Shabbat Smirah, a Shabbat song, as we bring our communities together in just a moment.
Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. 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 Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai.
Maya Fe Hayom, how beautiful is this Shabbat day that we have arrived at. Here we are all in the sanctuary together. We are home as a community. So Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We are going to begin by welcoming Shabbat presence with the lighting of our Shabbat candles. If you are joining us from Zoom, we invite you to bring the light into our Zoom sanctuary so that we can see your candles. And we're also going to invite our Bar Mitzvah student for this Shabbat, Ari Kanweiser, to have the honor of lighting our Shabbat candles. So let's make sure we can Shabbat Shalom, Ari, Mazel Tov to you. Go ahead and light our Shabbat candles for us as a community. Take your time, just be safe.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu
And we bring in Shabbat. I keep wanting to be closer and
we
closer to
we can be.
We bring in Shabbat with the sounds of song and joy. So let us turn to page 130 for the words of Lechu Neranena. Come, let us sing joyously to God to welcome Shabbat.
Lechu Neranena. Page 130. Nariya litzoi sheinu nikar mafana
page 138. We join together, L'chadodi.
Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad. Hishmi'anu el ha'miyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad. L'shem ultiferet v'litila lechadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela lechadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela likrat Shabbat lechuven elcha ki hi mekor averacha merosh mikerem nesucha sof maaseh v'machshava tchila lechadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, 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 ki ba'orech kumi ori, uri, uri, shir daveri kavod Adonai, alayich nigla lechadodi, lechadodi, likrat kala, likrat kala, nei Shabbat, nekabela,
The Shabbat presence.
Boi v'shalom עצרת bala גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה הולך הדודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה הולך הדודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה פני שבת
We remain standing, turning to page 146, directing our hearts to Jerusalem as we join together with words of Baruch Hu.
Yana Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach.
And we join together as one. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed Le'olam va'ed Lai 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 Let's be seated. Before we affirm our faith with the words of Shema, let us join together, and we can place these words on the screen, with a poem of faith that was written this week by our colleague, Rabbi Stephanie Crawley. And so if we can place the words on the screen, let us join together with "We are the people of." We are the people of the book. Don't read it all in one sitting. Some of its chapters will break your heart. We will use it to teach you how to live, to break your heart on purpose. We are the people of the tree. Don't cut us down. Don't you know what wisdom we contain? We will teach you how to reach towards the light. We are the people of the garden. Doesn't matter how far you take us from our home. You will find
us flourishing. We will teach you how to grow in all conditions.
We are the people of the air. Don't tear us apart. You will breathe our shared breath. We will teach you how to fill it up with song. We are the people of the heart. Doesn't matter how hard yours is, our muscle softens as it opens. We will teach you how to make joy where there is only pain. We are the people of each other. We are the people of the choosing to be who we are over and over again, even when it hurts us, even when it breaks us. We will be who we are over and over again. Let's join together with words of Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
Turning to page 161. In a week where we need shalom and to feel God's sheltering embrace, let us join together with words of "Let there be love," invoking that spirit and inviting in that peace.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm. Let there be love. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Leshalom. V'ha'amidenu, Shomreinu lechayim, ufros aleinu, Sukat shlomecha. Hashkivenu, hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu
Adonai Eloheinu.
Eloheinu
Hashkivenu.
L'shalom.
Let there be love now.
Hashkivenu.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from lives. Let there be love. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Thanks, Lev.
Thank you, Lev, for giving us yet another language to pray in.
So let us turn to page 164, rising in body or spirit, as we join together with words of Adonai Sfatai, centering ourselves for the words of the Amidah, finding within us the blessings, the gratitude that we experienced as we come together in community, the word, the blessing, the gratitude that we experienced this week. And so I invite you to open, as we open the chat, you can place those words of blessing to fill our sacred sanctuary in word and in prayer.
Adonai Sifatai Tiftach Fi Yagid Tehilatecha Adonai Sifatai Tiftach Fi Yagid Tehilatecha Open up our lips so we may praise your name. Open up our hearts so we can feel our pain. Open up our souls and let our love make us whole. And we will praise.
We will pray, we will praise your name. Adonai, Sifatai Tiftach.
Fi Yagid
Tehilatecha.
Adonai
Adonai,
Sifatai Tiftach Fi Yagid Tehilatecha.
So let us take a few moments of personal prayer and reflection.
So, one way that we can let peace in is to let love in. to be present in the moment and to recognize this moment as a blessing. Let's try that together. Gotta let the love in, gotta let the light in, gotta let this moment be a present. Gotta let the love in, gotta let the light in, gotta let this moment be a blessing. Oh, say shalom, bimroma, huya say shalom aleinu, ve'al Yisrael, ve'al yoshvei tevel, ve'imeru, amen. Gotta let the love in, gotta let the light in, gotta let this moment be a present. Gotta let the love in, gotta let the light in, gotta let this moment be a blessing.
Amen. A blessing for our community from Rabbi Naomi Levy. For our community is in need of healing. So thank you to our tech staff for putting the words on the screen for us. Let's join together if you can. When we feel tainted, God, remind us that we are holy. When we feel weak, teach us that we are strong. When we are shattered, assure us that we can heal. When we are weary, renew our spirit. When we are lost, show us that you are near. May we always remember that no matter how far we have fallen, no matter how challenging our lives may seem, no matter how lost we may feel, that we can always begin again. So it is in this spirit that we lift our prayers to those who are in need of healing, whether it is a healing of body or of spirit or of mind. Those of you joining us from Zoom, we invite you to name your loved ones in the chat who are in need of healing. And if you're with us in the sanctuary, we invite you to rise. Our clergy will help you acknowledge your loved ones. And I will acknowledge the community of Colleyville, Texas. So let's join together, page 371.
Misheberach avoteinu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
And each week with joy, we celebrate the simchas, the joys that we have to share, and the blessings. Let us first celebrate those of you who have experienced a birthday in this past week. We have been stalking the chat, and I know that the Bloom twins have turned 18. So happy birthday, happy Chai birthday to you. 3 Solomons are with us who have experienced a birthday this week. Mazel tov to Hank, Scott, and Peter. I understand from a little bird that Joan Belkin is also celebrating a very significant milestone today. Mazel tov to you, Joan. Any other birthdays that we are celebrating? Give us a wave or a hand. Pam Remus, I see your hand is waved. Whose birthday is it? It's Rich's birthday. Happy birthday.
Mazel tov, Rich.
Any more to celebrate? Let me ask the Millers. Alan, is it your birthday? No, okay, you're waving. Let's see, any celebrations of love, any anniversaries on this cold weekend in years past? I'm looking through the gallery. I'm not seeing any anniversaries. But I do know Ari is still with us, who becomes bar mitzvah tomorrow. Mazel tov to you and your family. And I also understand that Alan Solomont is celebrating the 59th anniversary of becoming bar mitzvah this weekend. He let us know today that he read the entire Parashat of Yitro. That is pretty impressive. So mazel tov to you, Alan. And to all of you who have recovered from COVID this week, it is surely a shehachi anu moment. To those of us who are experiencing other blessings of life, let's celebrate them with great joy as we join together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
those in the chat. Mazel tov to you as well.
Shabbat Shalom. Tomorrow morning, as Jews all around the world have done every Shabbat morning, we will take the Torah scroll out of the ark to read the words of Parashat Yitro from our people's most sacred story. Parashat Yitro recounts the Israelites' experience of receiving the 10 Commandments, the formative moment of revelation when the means and meanings of being Jewish first begins to take shape, when a collection of tribes first becomes a nation. It is this very moment that we sing about with joy as we lift the scroll in the air and dance with it in our arms. It is a moment of splendor and majesty and awe, and it is a moment in which our ancestors were absolutely terrified. For 2 days, the Israelites that were camped around the base of Mount Sinai waited with bated breath, purifying and preparing themselves to experience the presence of God. On the third morning, they arose to find the mountain smoking like a furnace, covered in thick clouds that rumbled with thunder and sparked with lightning. Moses shepherded the people towards the foot of the quaking mountain as the disembodied voice of a shofar blared louder and louder, and then a voice like nothing they had ever heard declared, "I am Adonai, your God." Vaya'anu vaya'amdu merachok. The people trembled, they fell back and stood at a distance. The commentator Rashi teaches that as each commandment issued forth, the whole camp was startled back 12 miles, the length of their whole camp, and each time the ministering angels had to help bring them back to the foot of the mountain. So 10 times this trembling mass of men, women, and children flew backwards and then forwards again, overwhelmed with sight and sound and sensation, and they were scared out of their senses. The people cried out to Moses, begging him to make it stop. Al tira'u, don't be afraid, Moses said, for God has only come to test you so that you will fear God and not go astray. In other words, he says, it's okay, don't be scared, but actually, maybe always be a little bit scared. That's probably not a bad idea. These poor, frightened Israelites have been through a lot. And you know, they have every right to be afraid. They witnessed things that they never could have imagined happening. They experienced an unrelenting onslaught of terrifying, viscerally jarring edicts in a jangling discord of stimulus. They had no idea which way was up or which way was safe or what they were supposed to do with any of this information. I think I can sympathize, and I think many of us can. Last Shabbat morning, Rabbi Charlie Citron Walker opened the door of Congregation Beth Israel in Colleyville, Texas, to a stranger in need. He made him a cup of tea. He did everything right, everything he should have done. What happened next, no one could have imagined unfolding. A nail-biting 11-hour standoff, the small community held hostage in their sacred space. We who couldn't bear to watch, and we who couldn't not watch, feared for them, feared along with them. We breathed shaky sighs of relief when the first person was released. And finally, when the rabbi's brave maneuver allowed the other three to escape, Baruch atah Adonai matir asurim, blessed be the one who frees the captive. And yet, we may find that we still haven't allowed ourselves to fully exhale. That fear is natural. We are hardwired to always be at least a little bit afraid. Fear keeps us safe, alerts us to potential danger, and helps power us to escape it. But even beyond this instinctive level, listening to our fears is not a bad idea. Just as Moses acknowledges, when we pay attention to what scares us and why, our fears can help us understand what matters to us, to understand what we most fear to lose, to understand what is worth living for. The Israelites who fell back at a distance in fear had nothing to be ashamed of. They followed a natural protective instinct to move away, to retreat from what felt threatening and scary. And I imagine that when they fell back from the mountain's edge to the edges of the camp after that first commandment, they would have much rather crawled back inside their tents and under their covers than reformed their ranks. And yet, they didn't. They came back. Again and again and again, they came back to hear God's words, and they came back to put them to use as they began the work of building their new nation together. So what was it that those Israelites heard and felt through their fear that led them back to the foot of the mountain, that led them to say yes, that led them to choose to band together instead of scattering to the sands? There's power in the fact their fear was communal, that it led them back to their community. The text speaks of the entire people as a single entity. They trembled together, they moved together, they heard and obeyed as one. They were able to look around and see the fright on the faces of their friends and families and neighbors, and knew that they weren't alone. They could reach out, squeeze each other's hands in reassurance. They could see their own strength reflected in the faces of their fellows and know that they would be able to face whatever lay ahead together. And there's also power in the reason for their gathering in the first place, that divine voice that called them towards a life of purpose and meaning, commanding a life shaped by striving towards the sacred. The words they heard that day were not meant to be bundled away inside an ark for safekeeping, but to be taken out and lived out loud. Staying inside and bolting the doors may help assuage our fears, but I fear the alternative far more. Who would we be if we no longer opened our doors to the stranger or the person in need? Who would we become if we pull away from what draws us together? Who are we if we let fear keep us from what makes life worth living? Our Jewish community is not alone in walking this narrow bridge between security and seeking the sacred. As I was finishing this sermon yesterday, I read Amanda Gorman's powerful op-ed in the New York Times, in which she shared that she nearly didn't give her landmark inaugural poem a year ago due to her intense and very justified fear to stand on the Capitol steps that morning, a fear that she would catch COVID or a bullet to the chest. Gorman wrote, "I'm a firm believer that often terror is trying to tell us of a force far greater than despair. In this way, I look at fear not as cowardice, but as a call forward, a summons to fight for what we hold dear. And now, more than ever, we have every right to be affected, afflicted, affronted. If you're alive, you're afraid. If you're not afraid, you're not paying attention. The only thing we have to fear is having no fear itself, having no feeling on behalf of whom or what we've lost, whom and what we love. On that January 20th, what I found waiting beyond my fear was every person who searched beyond their own fear to find space for hope in their lives, and welcomed the impact of a poem into protests, hospitals, classrooms, conversations, living rooms, offices, art, and all manner of moments. I may have worked on the words, she said, but it was other people who put those words to work. What we've seen isn't just the power of a poem, it's the power of the people. So to paraphrase Moshe Rabbeinu and Amanda Gorman, our teacher, don't be afraid to be afraid, but let your fear draw you towards what matters most. Let it guide you back to the foot of the mountain, towards revelation, towards that which is sacred. And when we allow that gravity to draw us back together, we can build the foundations of a future that transcends what we fear today. Don't be afraid to be afraid, for the most important things lie on the other side of fear.
Rabbi, I needed your Torah tonight. Yasher koach. The most important thing is on the other side. The most important thing is on the other side. The most important thing is on the other side of fear. Kol ha'olam kulo, kol ha'olam kulo, gesher tsar me'od. צר מאוד והעיקר לא לפחד כלל והעיקר לא לפחד כלל כל העולם כולו important thing is on the other side of fear. והעיקר לא לפחד כלל. והעיקר לא לפחד כלל.
We experienced much loss in our community this week. We want to also give you the opportunity to feel the losses that you have experienced in your life in years past as well. Let us begin by acknowledging those in our community who passed this week. Arthur Gerstenfeld, husband of Sue Gerstenfeld, Nancy Kaplan, mother of Ginda Fisher, and Shirley Feldberg Levy, mother of John Levy, grandmother of Todd Levy. Richard Schuster, father of Scott Schuster, Sean Tucker, the son of Daniel Tucker, and Myrtle Woolman, the mother of Gail Ann Merle. We've also been asked to acknowledge the yahrzeits of Doris Weinberg, the grandmother of Tamara Gillette, and Harriet Garber, the mother of Hugh Garber. Harry Herscott, the father of Myrna Friedman, and James Herscott as well. Are any of you here this evening observing a yahrzeit, anniversary of a death, or in a period of mourning? We'll invite you to rise to share the name of your loved one as well. Did we get everyone? Yeah. So let us as a community rise in support of these mourners as we turn to page 598 to recite this affirmation of life. Yitkadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach cherutei v'amlich malchutei. B'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehi shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam ulamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha brichu. Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imaru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imaru. Amen.
Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Zichronam livracha, may their memories only be for a blessing. So let's be seated as we have a few announcements. You got them, Rabbi?
Just a few. I hope that you'll check out the email that you received this afternoon. There's much going on in the life of our community. I want to just make note, tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, we'll join together on Zoom for Torah, for Minyan, spiritual setting, and the Torah study, where we'll explore further the text that Rabbi Harper so beautifully brought forth to us this evening, along with some psalms and other ways to look at fear in the life of in the textual tradition that we have. I hope that you will check out a few different things, but one thing that I certainly want to point out is a week from Wednesday, David Podell, who's the president of Mass Bay Community College, is going to join us on Zoom and speaking about the connection that we are forging between TBE and Mass Bay and in all the ways that we can partner with them. In addition, TBE Table, which is creating hundreds of meals every month from our kitchen, is starting to provide meals to students at Mass Bay monthly. And so it's a really important partnership, and I hope that you will check that out. Anything else?
Great. I don't think so.
All right.
Thank you. So our kiddos turned technicians. I saw them in the tech booth. And Asher are going to help us lead our Shabbat Blessings. Which one have you been assigned to?
I have no idea.
He says he has no idea. Bless you for stepping up. 123 is my guess for Kiddush. Grab hold of that Kiddush cup. Let's give you a microphone. Well, yeah, you got it. We'll sing with you. Here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila l'mikra'ei kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim ki vanu v'acharta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava u'ratzon inchamtanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen. L'chaim, well done. All right. You guys want to help come up and lead Kiddush or Motzi with us? They've got a really important job. Thank you, Susan Karen, for making our care packages available for us. Our caring specialists. Come on up, guys.
Go for it.
All right.
Go right here.
Hands underneath the challah. Good. Thank you, Ella.
All right.
Ooh.
3, 2, 1.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz v'te'avot.
May it be a peaceful Shabbat.
So we're not going to
Shabbat
eat from the
Shalom.
sanctuary. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.